A terrible thing happened in Washington Wednesday night local time, Thursday here in Australia. Two young people were gunned down in the streets of Washington, D.C. Now, that is a far too common occurrence already in the U.S. Capitol, but here's what makes this case different. The pair were killed, allegedly, because they were Jewish. Specifically, they were two young Israeli diplomats who had been attending an event at the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. This is them. Have a good look. Their names were Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram, and may their memories be a blessing. These two young people literally had their whole lives in front of them. Aged in their 20s, Yaron had reportedly brought Sarah a ring and was planning to propose next week in Jerusalem. But it was not to be. The pair were allegedly killed by a gunman, Elias Rodriguez, who, although he was born a Hispanic in Chicago, had been radicalized by hard-left socialist and Palestinian causes. Here he is being arrested moments after the shooting. Yes, free, free Palestine. The same idiot chant we have heard for more than 2 years at college campus occupations and demonstrations around America, around Australia, and around the Western world. Now, thanks to the internet and the fact that this guy Rodriguez is absolutely proud of his attitudes, in one clip of a manifesto that has been widely identified as being attributable to Rodriguez, he has written, among other things, quote, "Those of us against the genocide take satisfaction in arguing the perpetrators and abettors have forfeited their humanity," unquote. Yes, forfeited their humanity. In other words, never mind that Yaron and Sarah had actually been at a conference discussing ways to help Gaza. They were Jews, and therefore in a class that, according to Rodriguez, forfeited their humanity. And therefore, well, see where that ends? I mean, hey, what did you think the call to globalize the Intifada meant? Now, Rodriguez has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, among other crimes. And chilling details have emerged about how he allegedly fired 24 shots, shooting at his victims as they tried to crawl to safety. Now, in isolation, all of this is terrible enough. But I think it is worth saying, worrying, raising the alarm, that this is part of a re-emergence of a tendency in politics, and particularly on the left, to class whole entire classes of humanity as enemies of the people, obstacles to progress, targets to be eliminated. This is thought to be a picture of Rodriguez when he was involved in protests organized by the communist group Answer against, of all things, an Amazon facility in Seattle, which he managed to tie to the shooting of a black teen by local police. Yet here's why I find this case disturbing, beyond all the immediate horror around these 2 young people losing their lives simply because they were Jewish and in the wrong place at the wrong time, as if Washington 2025 were Berlin 1938. No, it is because this is part of a much bigger trend driven by the left that seems to glorify, glamorize, laugh off, or excuse targeted murder because it fits their revolutionary political narrative. Remember last year when the CEO of an insurance company, Brian Thompson, was shot down in cold blood on a Manhattan street early one morning as he walked to a meeting. That executive had done nothing wrong, yet he was allegedly targeted because he was the CEO of a healthcare company, which in some people's mind makes him, well, fair game. Left-wing media outlets hailed his popular appeal, even his sex appeal, and turned him into a baby-faced Robin Hood because, hey, who in America hasn't had a run-in with an insurance company? Here's former Washington Post senior journalist Taylor Lorenz gushing over Luigi, the alleged assassin of Thompson.
You're going to see women especially that feel like, oh my God, right? Like, here's this man who's revolutionary, who's famous, who's handsome, who's young, who's smart. He's a person that seems this morally good man, which is hard to find.
A morally good man? If you think that someone who's a good man because they are alleged to have killed someone because they have the wrong job, where does this go? And there was another example that was highlighted this week when President Donald Trump accused South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa of not doing enough and in some cases encouraging violence and murder and the theft of land of that country's white farmers.
These are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death. 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 Horrible death. Death. I don't know.
But you know that
To pick anyone, white South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all, I mean, I'll give these to you.
Serious stuff, and Donald Trump brought receipts to that meeting. But The Daily Show, that left-wing outlet, well, they played it for laughs.
Trump, things got weird.
Death. 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 Horrible death. Death. I don't know.
What a host. Death. Hey, do you want a Diet Coke? Yeah. Death, horrible death.
Yeah, right, white farmers, ha ha ha, so funny, how could they be oppressed? I mean, they're white, white's bad, and if you have any sympathy for their plight, well, you're a Nazi, and hey, we punch Nazis now, don't we? I highlight all of this because it seems like there is now an incredible darkness on the left. I have spoken on this program before about how the left's program is really now one of negation. They have no idea of what a better world looks like, except they know that if they steamroll enough of their enemies, well, they figure they just might find it. But history shows us what a truly dangerous folly that is.